Welcome to New Realities. I'm here with Hope Fitzgerald, who is a real warrior of light. She's a metaphysician, she's a channel, and we're in a beautiful part of upstate New York. But how would you describe your work, Hope?
Well, my work is kind of multifaceted. I would say that how I started this whole journey was many years ago, and I have been a searcher and a researcher for decades. And then about 10 years ago, I everything got bumped up quite a bit when I had a series of visions, and these visions brought into my consciousness with the three that were in a row. The first one was this giant wave,
Mm-hmm.
giant wall of water, and it said there's going to be a push of evolution. This water represents this push that would be coming and anchoring in around the planet, and that we would do well not to resist uh, the evolution. If we did resist, we would get tumbled in the water, basically.
Okay.
And then there was a second vision, and then the third vision had still had to do with water, and it was this figure eight made of
Oh, like
flowing
we
water.
saw in the that screen that we
Yes,
just brought up here. That's just that. It was this
yes,
vision you
that's
had.
it. That's
Okay,
it.
this is on her website, which is called We Infinity. This is the infinity wave, and that's what you saw.
That's what I
And
saw.
what about this, though?
Well, initially it didn't give me any information, but I am a dowser.
Hmm.
And I already had been dowsing for many years when this happened, thank goodness, because I was able to use my dowsing rods, which
She is
are right
a
here.
great dowser.
And they helped me to. Uh, I have a way of inquiry,
Hmm.
so it's not just yes and no questions all the time.
Hmm.
So anyway, I found out that this imagery had a name, the infinity wave, and that it had a purpose, and that was to assist us
Hmm.
in the times that were ahead, which were going to be very choppy waters.
And here we are
And
now
here we are,
in the choppy waters trying
totally
to
in the
swim.
waters, exactly.
But it's interesting what you said. You were seeking for many years, and then actually found or found you.
Yeah,
But that's the thing about seeking. It does come if you stay with it.
it does.
If you don't, if you just say, "Oh, forget it," it's not where it's like you have to be committed to knowing there's a higher truth,
Hmm.
and you were committed.
I wanted it desperately. I
Hmm.
wanted to move from believing to knowing.
And you did.
I did.
And
But I have to say that process is a really kind of scary process at times.
well, you have to let go of everything you know in order to
Uh,
welcome what you don't know.
You have to let go of reality in every sense of the word.
And you did that.
I did.
You let go of, in what way? What was your reality before, and what is
I
it
mean, the
now?
way that one would view 3D reality as things being solid. I mean, literally, the floor dropped out from under me, and I had to decide to let go
Uh-huh.
and to go into it. But it was really very much like going down in Alice's rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It rearranged my consciousness around every single thing.
Because everything you knew just dissolved. I mean, everything.
Everything was up for grabs. Everything, I couldn't count on anything that I thought or I had been taught or I even could see with my naked eye as being real in a sense.
Right.
Everything got put through the tumbler, reassessed at the same. So what the effect of that is kind of like being in a fun house in the
Mm-hmm.
carnival. Like the walls, would almost start to move,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know where you are in space. You don't realize how much
Mm.
our minds create the construct.
Well, that brings us right to this moment where this pandemic, virus, crisis, whatever you want to call it, has taken us to a place where everything we've known has dropped away. So what
Yes.
you went through, and a lot of people have went through in their spiritual awakening, is kind of happening to the planet.
Yes.
And so, how would you advise people who've suddenly had their world, shaken up. They've been pulled down the rabbit. What do you say to people? I mean, I've been through it myself,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not as drastically because I was always sort of on the outside of
Mm-hmm.
things,
Mm-hmm.
always looking in from the
Mm-hmm.
outside. But people are going through quite a transformation, whether they
Yes.
want it or not. So, what
Yes.
do you say to people that may be shaken up or not knowing that sense of self that you found?
Well, this first vision, this giant wall of water, was so big and so high and wide that it was clearly meant for everybody. So some of us have maybe gotten a bit of an earlier start, but eventually, in order for the whole to be lifted, each individual needs to go through their transition.
Well, they're going through it.
And they
So,
are going through it
and
now.
how do they get through it? Though is
Well,
really
this is why the infinity wave came. This is
mm,
what it was meant for. It was meant to. So, what, let me say what the infinity
yes.
wave
Tell
is
us.
and what it
Yes,
does.
yes, yes.
So, it's a 10th dimensional frequency.
I'm not sure what that
So,
means.
I don't want to get all
Okay,
into that.
okay,
But what
okay.
I'll say is, we know we're in 3D now, right?
I think so. Oh, this
Well,
is 3D.
kind of, sort of,
Yeah, yeah.
multiple, but
Okay.
but let's just say we're in 3D
Yes.
in on the
And
earth,
we're physical.
and we're physical.
I think so.
And so when we think about something at 10D, obviously it's going to be way more refined, right?
Mm-hmm.
Way more crystalline, really beyond our imaginations in a sense.
Okay.
So when we have an energetic from that realm, well, let's just put it this way: Jesus, many have said, it operated in the seventh dimension. Okay, so we're talking even more refined than that.
Okay.
And I'm not saying in any way, I'm not comparing myself. Please don't think that. But this is a tool that's of that high frequency that's meant to kind of lift us up out of 3D so that we are simultaneously more flexible.
Okay.
The watery flow, we're more
Yes, yes, yes.
flexible, we're more resilient,
Mm-hmm.
and we're more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the infinity wave in that watery flow is this inherent the qualities of love and compassion at a 10th dimensional level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's different from where what we feel
It's different
here.
than 3D.
Yes.
So watery, a flow of movement on a kind of more evolved plane of existence.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
So the interesting thing about it is that, okay, so it's a geometry that is
Mm-hmm.
exists in our world in many ways, but there's also um, the so there's the image of it. The
Mm-hmm.
geometry itself is as above, so below. When you think
Mm-hmm.
about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's equal parts, and it also represents sort of expansion, contraction, right? Which is the
Right. The
natural,
flow
which,
in and out,
yes,
tides moving.
it's
Okay. Yes.
universe is
Yes.
expanding and
Yes.
contracting. It
Yes.
is the
Yes.
way of nature.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so that we have that, and then we have this idea. Okay, so okay, there's this idea of a watery figure eight, and how can an idea help me? Well, the interesting thing is that ideas help us all the time,
I think so.
right?
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, every bit of positive thinking
Mm-hmm.
is an idea that we're replacing maybe a more negative thought with a more positive thought.
Right.
And guess what? The idea, which actually exists outside our bodies, not in our brains, the ideas are out here.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I'm with
and,
you. I
and
think so.
right, many people talk about this. Bruce Lipton talks about it. Greg Braden talks about it.
In the field.
It's in the field.
Right.
Lynn McTaggart.
Yes.
So the idea is there in the field, and we are electrical beings, and we have these like
Energetic beings.
energetic and electrical.
Okay.
And so we when we have an idea or place an idea there that's of a higher frequency, our entire field will vibrate to that.
Right.
All
And
right.
those ideas also come to us, but if we're not open to it, that field, we don't open that field, the ideas won't land as well. That's what I
Yes,
get from what you're
yes.
saying.
Well, let me say this. I'm only sort of partway into this idea
Okay, no,
because because we what I've seen is that when we take the idea of the infinity wave with people who don't even know what it is,
mm-hmm.
and we just use it, we just say, hey, let me wrap you in this shape, or
Oh, you project the
let me
infinity.
run a figure eight between your heart
Oh,
and
oh,
my
right,
heart.
right, right.
It is felt almost instantly.
So that's a kind of technique to open the field.
Open a person's field, open a group field.
I like that.
I use my dowsing rods. I do this test all the time. It's really fun.
What is the test?
Well, if I'm in a group of people,
Mm-hmm.
I'll have, and they don't know about the infinity wave. I'll say, okay, can I have a volunteer? And that person stands up, and the rest of us stand across the room. And then I take my dowsing rods
Mm-hmm.
and I walk up slowly to the person and I ask the rods to show me where their field ends. And
Oh,
typically it's between 3 and 6 feet.
okay.
That's typical. And then the, that person stays there and the group walks over here. And I say, okay, for 30 seconds, we're just going to send the figure eight made of flowing water to that
Right,
person.
right.
They don't know what it is, they've never learned a thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're done, 30 seconds,
Yes.
I repeat and I take my rods
And
and I walk and say, please show me the border of this person's field."
yes.
And it is typically 3 times the size.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just
great.
so
That's
it
amazing.
has potency without even knowing what it is.
Right.
That's why I'm saying it's not
Okay.
just
An idea.
yes.
It's actually an energetic.
It's an energetic.
Right.
It's
right.
a
Right.
frequency.
So anyone watching can just send that wave through themselves, and it'll
Yes.
increase their field of awareness. Their
Yes.
field of energetics.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So we called this though how to be a warrior for the light.
Yes.
So what does that mean then? How do you fit that in?
Well, I mean, on a physical level, our cells have, we are light bodies, right? Our cells have light, and our fields have light. When we are living in stress or fear, the imagine Swiss cheese. It's there are holes in our light field, and that weakens us.
It weakens us
Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
Right. You
Okay?
can feel it.
You can feel it. The number one thing that I always tell my groups is turn off the television, turn off the radio, because whether you realize it consciously or not, there are frequencies coming out of that, not to mention what the words are.
Mm-hmm.
When you add the
Right.
frequencies and the words together,
Right.
it's like shooting holes.
Well, what about Wi-Fi? And
Well, that's a whole different topic.
I know, but they put also. I mean,
They do.
Every frequency, like that's why being out in nature. Of course, we're connected to Wi-Fi, but being out in nature helps to heal some of that.
Yes, very much so. Very
Because-
much so. So
yeah.
that's so one of my remedies is turn off the TV and the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Turn off the Wi-Fi at night.
Okay.
Get out into nature. Absolutely, preferably with bare feet in the summer. It's so delightful.
It is delightful, especially out here.
Oh, isn't it great?
In the morning,
Yeah.
walking on the wet grass.
Yes.
That is nourishing kidney
Yes.
chi. This is what the
Yes.
Taoist said.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So there's so
And
much.
even in the early morning, getting with the sun. The sun is a powerful
I agree.
being. It's a being. It's a being like the earth is a being.
And it's a healing being. It'll
Totally.
heal every part.
Yes. So,
Put it where the sun doesn't shine and let it shine, because every part of your body needs
that's right.
sun.
So here's the thing.
Yes.
The infinity wave can be any size.
Okay.
So I run an infinity wave from my heart up to the sun and around the
you
sun
do.
and back into my heart.
What does that do for you?
It connects you. This is
Yeah.
the infinity wave is a great connector, and you're being connected in a frequency of love and compassion. So when you can connect with the moon, with the stars, with anything, but a mountain. Oh, I connected with Niagara Falls once and practically got pulled overboard.
Really?
Oh my gosh, it
This
was
is something
intense.
you don't want to do.
Yes, don't do that unless you're hanging on to the boat.
All right.
But you run an infinity wave to the sun, as you're honoring the sun, you're saying thank you for another light-filled day,
Or
light-filled
anyone
day.
you're in relationship with.
Anybody
That
you're in relationship
that will
with,
actually help the relationship be smoother,
yes, it
whether
raises
they know it or not.
whether they know it or not.
Do you want to do it
Yes,
whether
so
they
let me
don't know?
talk about that.
Okay, talk about
Okay,
that, because you
so
don't want to just run that with anyone, or maybe you do.
well, actually, here's the thing.
Okay,
Um, so I want to get back to the Swiss cheese.
okay, get
Okay,
back to Swiss cheese
but
because I can't eat
to
cheese.
answer this, okay, but to answer this part is that I really don't think there's a human being walking around on the planet that would not benefit from a dose of love and compassion.
I agree.
So
We all need that.
when
Even
we send a wave to somebody, even if they don't know about it, it's basically filling up their dry sponge. If for some reason their field is not set up to receive it, it will simply flow by. It's water. It
so
goes.
you're really just imagining. It's
Yes.
a projection of the
Yes.
mind. This image
Yes.
flow
Yes.
between two people. This figure
Yes.
eight flow.
Yes.
Okay. So if you want to connect with someone though, to
Well,
increase your,
then it's you can do it without telling them. You can run the wave
and that's
between you,
okay.
and that's okay.
You're not infringing on
No,
their.
same thing. You're just sending them love and compassion. The beautiful thing about sending to somebody else
Mhm.
is the love and compassion is going to you, and then it's coming right back to me.
So the infinity wave is a kind of a manifestation of love and compassion. Is that what you're saying?
It is love and
It is
compassion
love.
at a 10th dimensional level.
But it's the visualization. It's the materiality. It's an
It's the
illustration.
metaphor.
Yeah, it's the symbol of
Yes,
that.
yes.
Okay, because when you send it, it only can be love and compassion, right? It can't be anything else.
Well, you can add other elements.
But you
I
don't-
always say another trace minerals because I don't know everything else that's
But
in
you don't
there.
want to add any negative things.
Oh, God, no.
No, I'm not saying you would.
No.
No, I'm not saying you would, but it just can't flow.
No.
That's the thing.
No, look, this thing came in, I have to tell you, it came into me at the end of 2010. And through my dowsing, I was told that I had this mission to share this with the world. Well, I was living in a very rural place and I didn't know how to do computers. But like I said, look, if you want this to be spread around the world, you're going to have to take care of that because I have no clue how to do that. Well, it ended up happening. I was given a platform to do it. And I was also told that I needed to run workshops,
Okay.
one per month for the first 9 months of 2011. Now, this is where the scary part comes in because I had no idea what I was going to be running. I didn't want to be a spiritual teacher.
You didn't want to
no,
be, but now
no.
you were
I was a
forced to
student,
be.
and now they were kicking me in the behind to basically get out and do this. And I said, but I don't even know what I'm teaching. I don't. All I know is this figure eight thing. They have love and compassion. That's all I know. And they said we're going to give you the information. So once a week, I would sit down with my dear friend, and I would get ready to douse. And then all of a sudden, these strange voices would come out of my mouth.
You started channeling.
And much to my shock,
Mm-hmm.
I started channeling. And
you weren't channeling before that?
I probably was, but I didn't fully trust channeling. And so
it's hard to kind of give up your body to
I didn't
something else.
I didn't know whether I just didn't fully trust channeling. So I didn't allow the idea that I was doing that in. When I look back, I think, oh yeah, I was, but I just
But
didn't.
now you're more comfortable with it.
Well, yes. So I channeled these practices would come through, and I had these crystal bowls, and so I thought, well, maybe I'm supposed to take these practices and play a bowl, and that will be what will happen in the workshops. So I did that for the first 3 months. I had 9 practices in all, and each the group would come back for each weekend. The same group came, so the full workshop was 3 months of it, and it was absolutely incredible because the whole goal was to move forward in our spiritual evolution.
And you led that. Well, maybe you could do a little channeling here.
I could do a little channeling.
But before that, just talk about what you mean about being a warrior of light.
Yes. So when you accept the idea that with all the fear mongering that has been happening, and some of it,
that's a lot of mongering out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of mongering, and how much of it is actually true, we don't know. There's many unknowns.
Yeah.
And so here we are with holes in our fields. Well, we want to reinforce those holes. We want to become whole again, have our container be whole,
Mm-hmm.
so that we are not only holding light, but then able to contain more light, stretch the container wider and wider and wider. My guides told me in the very first channeling, that first one I sat down to do, they said that we would be beacons, and that we would be called upon to use this light and called upon to help others with the light. So it's not just enough to just be doing it for ourselves. When I think about doing something for somebody else, that gives me incentive,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We will be called upon to use that light to help others. So everything we do, everything we can do to raise our light quotient, our frequency, is what I believe we should be doing. How to do that, I've already listed some.
Right. Wave yourself.
And then wave yourself. Absolutely. Now remember that most people are walking around with an absence of love and compassion for themselves.
I guess they are.
Right.
And for others and themselves. Well,
But
more than.
first,
Yes.
it's for oneself.
Yes, it is. Yes.
I mean, look, people are great givers,
Mm-hmm.
but if there's not that going back, it's two sides of a coin, to give and receive. And so learning how to give this love and compassion to oneself, waving your own heart, waving your whole body,
Mm-hmm.
and receiving it's really a grace-filled activity to
Mm-hmm.
receive.
It is.
And so from once we do that, we are much more able to give from a full
Allowing
tank.
yourself to receive.
Yes.
Great. So that's how to become a warrior of light.
Well, these are some of the techniques. Obviously, meditation is very important. Can I talk about?
Of
what I did?
course. Well,
So,
you're also giving talk about your workshop talk tonight as
oh,
well.
I will.
Let me just
So,
get this.
so what I when we had when we went into lockdown, and lots of my friends were making masks and doing all those things, all my equipment was in storage and I couldn't get at it. So I kept thinking, what can I do? What can I give? And I thought, well, I can do meditations. So I started a Monday night free meditation every single Monday night. And I now have 12 or 14 or something up on my site free of charge. And I thought if I could build a library, a meditation library, then anybody could access them. And if they have a hard time meditating, these would be maybe helpful for people. So that's what I've been doing every Monday night. And then
How do they find this every Monday night?
If you go to my website, we-infinity.com, actually, it's not on there. Send me an email at info@weinfinity.com, and I will put you on the mailing list.
Should I broadcast this live tonight?
Sure.
I can maybe do
That'd be
that
great.
tonight on this channel at what time?
It's at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock
Mhm.
Eastern time. Let's do that
Okay,
tonight.
that'd be great.
You just talk, or just be you talking to the
Sure.
camera.
Sure.
But we'll give a little preview now.
Yeah.
And so that's 8 o'clock. Tune into New Realities. We're going to do a live broadcast of Hope's meditation. And also, I want to say on this channel, though, I've interviewed Hope before, and she goes through the whole process of the infinity wave and
Yeah.
all that. But what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, now that I am much more comfortable with channeling, the meditations are channeled.
Oh.
So I never know exactly what the meditation will be about, and until they happen. But they're incredibly healing, and sometimes they're very galactic. They could take us out and very expanded, and sometimes they're very personal.
Well, should we do a little channeling?
We can do a little channeling now.
I think channeling is very exciting because you
Okay.
never know what's going to come out of someone's mouth.
Right.
And it could be a message for people getting through this time.
Yes.
If that's
It
so.
could be.
And you
Sure.
channel Merlin sometimes, right? Or,
So should I show my board?
Yes,
Just for
let's-
fun. So
yeah, this is
I
your,
do. So I do it in a couple of different ways. So one way is I give intuitive dowsing sessions for people, and once I start with the rods, I'll just show you how they work. Please show me a yes. So they come in. Please show me a no. They go out, and you can see that these spin freely. There's a little sleeve here.
Right.
So once I start working with a client, usually what happens is I start to see images and hear words or sentences, and the rods just sort of keep me honest. I say what I'm saying, and
Right. Right. You
um,
have a feeling for it, but the rods will.
I have pretty strong, but the rods confirm.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
so that's one version of channeling, and then the other one that I use
Mm-hmm.
is this.
Which is a sort of Ouija board. I mean,
It kind of looks like one, but it's called a divine message board. It's a much higher frequency.
because Ouija boards have gotten a really bad name because it's
Yes.
like making a phone call. You never know who you're going to get.
Right.
So why is this different?
Well, first of all, this was designed by a friend of mine, and she did it under the tutelage of This is Merlin.
She got guided by Merlin.
She got guided by Merlin. So I realize this is backwards, but you can see this represents a light being. This represents the angels and archangels. This Merkaba represents both the higher order being coming in and the Akashic records. And then we have the rose and the dragonfly at the bottom, usually representing transformation.
Right. I'm just answering texts here
Yes.
online. It
Good.
says Rebecca says I have dowsing rods myself. I have yet to use them.
Oh, well, I'm going to be teaching a class.
Oh, tell them where. Yeah.
Well, I haven't taught it. I'm going to be creating an online course. So if
Right.
you sign up on my website,
Which is
we-infinity.com, then you will be able to be apprised when that happens.
Infinity.com.
Mhm.
Okay. So what are you gonna do now?
Well, I'll see if I will just warn everybody that
Yes.
that when this begins, there's a bit of
That's okay. You still look
my
glamorous.
no my arms fly around. I become somewhat weightless, and then they go into different positions. So I hope I don't hit you in the head.
No. I mean, I love the fact that you can let go and do your thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll move away. But I like to be in the field. But go ahead. So what are you going to do? Put your hands on the Ouija board.
I have a planchette right here,
What,
and
is that
look
what
at
they-
that design. You see that infinity with the heart?
Did you design that?
No, I did not.
Oh,
Isn't that perfect?
that is perfect for you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just look at the board here. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have to just say a little thing to get me into it.
Okay, say it.
I said I'd be surrounded by protection. I ask that I receive clear and validating messages from the highest divine. So it sent us to the light being, and I think that's because we're having this conversation about being light beings and increasing our fields, and they're saying yes. So reminding everyone that you are essentially a light being.
Well, what just happened is that your whole body lit up with light when we started this in the sunlight. It just sun just moved right onto you, so you look like a light being. Okay, so should we?
So let me see who's next.
Okay.
I can tell there's a lot of excitement because usually we're more very private with this, and there's a lot of excitement about being, broadcast, and usually there's a bit of a revolving door with who comes in first and second and third, and so there's a bit of a conversation about who's going to come in.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. What do they have to say?
Well, I have to wait.
Okay.
That's the thing. You have to be very patient. Okay, so this is M. M is the universe behind the universe. And M has obviously then a great perspective. And he says, a great day to you all. I am very honored to be here. Many millennia ago, we were not separate, but there was a split. And this kind of division happens all over nature. So sometimes it doesn't look like it's going right on the exact letters, but I'm hearing the
Right. You're hearing
I'm
it
hearing
more
it
than
now.
like
Yeah,
spelling it out. So
yeah.
you're more. Yeah. Okay.
This is interesting. I've never heard this.
Mm-hmm. So talking about the duality.
I am saying this as a way of introduction to your listeners that they understand that I have knowledge of your universe and your world. I have dealt in your world for quite a long time. As you know, hold please. A great many beings have also been working in your world. It is a fascinating place, and many clamor to be incarnated there. I work with others who are embodied at this time, some of whom you would know.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Well, just tell. It's great. Thanks for the credentials, but give us something we can work with now at this point of transition. Give us something that will help us.
Yes. the most important thing that you can do is to love completely and fully, and especially yourselves. I know that might sound trite, but it is the reality in the place you are headed to. So the sooner you acclimate yourselves to that frequency, the better.
Okay, so you talked about the split, and it's like we're healing the split in this place we're going to talk about.
No,
No?
no, you are not healing the split.
Mm-hmm.
The split was a natural phenomenon that occurred between universes.
Mm-hmm.
You are healing the divide within yourselves. That is where your concentration should be. As hold on a sec, as Hope said, it is all uh, about increasing your light frequency.
Mm. Glad they were listening to our conversation. But okay, look, talk to us where we're going and how to heal this.
Where you are going is into another realm entirely. You will not recognize the reality as you know it. It is very hard to describe when you have not experienced it yet. But if you imagine your dream life and combine that with your meditative states, with or without enhancements, he's meaning ayahuasca type stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you will get a glimpse. The the good news is that this is also a natural process and not to be feared. It will not hurt you. It will feel like a lightening state, meaning not lightning that strikes,
Right.
lightning.
So what do we need to do?
Stay in the frequency of love.
And a wave is coming. Is that what they're saying that will lift us?
Yes, the waves are already upon you. They will be increasing in size and potency.
Hmm. When can we expect the big wave? I mean, I guess it's happening.
Mm. And can you tell us, give us a time frame?
I guess he doesn't want to.
They're debating,
They don't have to. You know what happened when it happened.
right?
no pressure on them
Okay.
to give us a, but would it was in the next 5, 10,
Yes.
it's in the next 5 years.
Yes.
So this is not the big wave, this crisis then that we are in.
No,
This is,
this is a precursor.
um, but this hasn't all been positive though. This.
No.
So will this next wave be positive, or will it?
Mm,
Or, I mean, I guess it's all positive because it's changing us, right?
correct.
But it will be a rearrangement of reality to a much greater degree.
Yes.
Does this have to do with ETs at all?
Yes.
Oh, it does.
Yes.
I knew there was some. I mean, those. That's my. Great. Perception is key. Rebecca says on the chat here. hmm I've a tuning fork to 528 frequencies I carry around. Birthing opposite of contraction, opening for birth. Pleiadian light language says that. Uh, Monica dreams. Yes, yes. We are merging our worlds. This is lovely to listen to. But so, is there anything we should do to prepare? So I guess I asked that. Just meditate, love. Is there? Is there
um, it is difficult to imagine loving many who are in your daily newscast. There is so much hatred directed towards certain people, and it would be better if there could be a disconnect rather than a heated emotional state. Okay, I know what he's talking about. Do you want me
yes,
to?
tell
Okay.
us what he's talking about.
So, what he's saying is when we, let's say there's a politician, let's say there's a person who's done terrible things,
Mm-hmm,
let's say, okay, it's very easy for us to get emotionally embroiled,
mm-hmm,
triggered by events and people. So it's about finding a place where you can say that's not of my frequency, that's not of me.
mm-hmm,
Pull your hook out so you don't waste your precious light on that. Okay, you
mm-hmm,
want to contain your light. Does it mean you approve of those people? You don't have to approve of them, but don't give them your energy, don't give them your light. And so he's saying, uh, unhook and save your light for yourself.
mm-hmm. That's part of the lessons we're learning here now.
Yes.
Can you also talk about the ET connection? Like,
Oh yeah, let's see what
let's
that's
see what
about.
let us see what that is.
Okay, and can you speak about the ET connection, please? I think somebody else is coming in. Hold on.
Okay, maybe we're getting an ET.
We're going to light body, so maybe let's see. Oh, this is interesting. So this is Ama, which is a chant that was given to me many years ago by a being named Zakaya, who sits at the right hand of Creator and sounds Creator's uh, creations.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an inspiration from Creator, and that impulse goes out, and Zakaya sounds it, and
As
that
a frequency, he's
yes,
infusing a
yes,
frequency with into the
to which will
physical
eventually
realm.
bring it into the physical.
Right. So that's what we're.
So I'm interested that this is happening now.
That's
Um,
the teaser. We need to be at a different vibration
yeah.
to meet them.
So will you chant with me?
Sure.
Okay. So what?
Okay.
It's equal parts A and M.
Okay.
Okay. So it's
Ma, ma,
um,
ah.
okay. Okay. Hold on. So that chant is actually really powerful, and I'll tell you what it is. It is a balanced chi. So chi turns out to be more masculine than feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Amma is a balanced masculine and feminine chant. And if you try it, you'll see the difference. So it's interesting they wanted to put that out there for all of you to give it a shot. I was instructed, it came in for me to actually sound into Lake Titicaca in Peru, which I did. Um, okay, somebody else. We have,
The Pleiadian light channel says, feeling it opening my temples.
mm, that's it.
The Ama chant.
That's it. Now, that is on my website. It's a free chant, and the story behind it is all on my website. So go and look it up. And you'll be able to hear the musical piece that I did with it. Okay,
Who's
so
coming
we're
in?
coming in with an angel, but I have a feeling it might not be an angel, if you know what I mean.
I know
Wink,
what you
wink,
mean. It
nudge,
might
nudge.
be like somebody else.
Let's
An
see.
ET.
Let's see. Tuck, are you what we would call an ET? Yes, this is my first ET.
Oh,
It's just for you, Alan.
congratulations! Maybe they're people I know.
Maybe they are.
Okay.
Are you acquainted with my friend Alan here? No.
No, well, nice to meet you then.
So, Tuck, thank you so much for coming and speaking with us. Please tell us more about
Like,
yourself.
where are you
Where are
from?
you from? I am from the Galactic Central Realm. You ever heard of that?
Never heard of that address. No.
Is that a planet?
No.
No.
It's a vibrational dimensional field.
He's saying it's a consortium
Mm.
of planets. It's yes, it's not embodied on a planet. It exists in a dimensional realm.
But a
It's
consortium of
of
worlds.
different worlds,
Yes.
different planets.
Different
Yes,
beings.
different beings.
I
Yes,
see. I see. I see.
it's kind of like the UN.
Right.
Yes.
So he's a UN representative.
So he's a yes, he is.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
No, does he have anything particularly to share? It's great. Thanks for visiting, but do you have anything to say? Like, what's going on? Why are you here? Just to check it out? No, but there is something he has.
So funny.
He has something to say to us. No, he's
Yes,
come.
he does. So let's stop talking.
Okay. I just wanted to make his acquaintance, kind of loosen him up a little
You're
bit.
so
You know, I
funny.
just needed to. Okay, let's hear what he has
Let's
to
hear
say.
what Talk has to say.
Okay.
I'm so happy to be meeting an ET. Talk. What would you like to say? I know that you have been calling out to us. And until now, we have not answered clearly. I also know you wish to understand your predicament on your beautiful planet. Some of us are still capable of feelings, and I want you to know that I am one of those. I once dwelled on a planet that went through a similar transition, and I understand deeply the confusion and even panic. May I say that you are doing all the right things as light bearers, meaning us, meaning
Mhm.
all the people watching.
Mhm.
You are better prepared than the rest.
Mm.
If you think of yourselves as leading a small group, a large group, a continent, that is an important orientation for you at this time. If you think of yourself as merely one person, struggling perhaps, you will lose the context of this time. You are not one person. You are of the many, and you are, by virtue of the fact that you are listening to this, you are a leader of many. The time will come when this will become clear, and you will remember these words, and you will say, aha, now I understand. So for now, prepare yourselves to lead. It does not mean you have to lead people in your daily life. Just make the space in your mind for being a leader, however humble.
We become a leader by welcoming these new realities and knowing that they're part of a growing consciousness that we are. Is that one way you're saying?
Many people do not think of themselves as worthy of leading anyone. They are content to be on their paths and be working through their issues, be growing their light, be enriching themselves with ideas and with consciousness. What I am saying is those people will be leaders of others
Mm-hmm.
when this shift occurs. Rather than be surprised by it, make the space in your minds for this potential. That is what I am saying. Think a little bigger and a little broader about your role. You are already ahead, you see. There are so many sleepers, and when they awaken, they will be in shock. They will be speechless. They will be frozen. And you will see this and you will tap them and say, "Follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. I know where we're going." Because you've already been working that light. You see?
Mhm.
So make the space in your minds for this eventuality, for that is indeed what is coming.
Mm. Is there, so we have to clear the space in our mind to be leaders and,
Enlarge it,
mhm,
enlarge your view of yourself.
mhm,
You already are a leader,
mhm.
so you already did that.
Okay.
But there are people who are very humble on their path and they never
Well,
look, they don't think they would be worthy of leading.
well, that's something that comes up in the chat about self worth. This woman says, she's, how do you deal with self worth?
Ah, oh, my friend, see, this is where my heart feels for you. If I could snap my fingers and say you are worthy and have it be true for you, I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. However, you must discover this yourself. I know you are worthy. I know you have what it takes. I know that you will benefit many. I know this. I can see this. If you could take my words into your heart and just play with the idea that it might be true, see how that could sit in your being, in your reality. Could it be I am worthy? Could it be I could be a leader? Yes, yes, it could. Yes, it could. It is. There is a great mistake about this worthiness, a great mistake that has been played upon you, a very bad lie. And and if you can erase that lie, if you can rout it out and know that as a being of creator, a creator's creation, that's what you are. You cannot be less. You cannot be unworthy.
Is the worthiness a part of what we need to incorporate to meet these sorts of beings? Because we are worthy of the connection.
Absolutely.
Mm, mm,
Absolutely.
mm,
You know, your planet has been cloaked in so much. Uh, the word is mystery, but meaning things are mysterious to you because much information has not been shared. So if you are sitting underneath that ceiling, that cloak, it's going to be hard to imagine what's on the other side. That you have direct connection with your creator, that you have direct connection with us, with me right now. I am with you. This is a direct connection. You are worthy of this and more. We are all from the same place. We are all of the same divine nature. All
mm.
the same.
So, this is really what's needed to meet the others.
This is a key element
Mm.
because the unworthiness will act like a block. You see, it will be that it'll be more cloaking. Do you understand what I'm saying? When we believe the lie of unworthiness, we are cloaking ourselves. We can't see
Mm.
past it until we throw that cloak off.
Mm. Someone says there might be more than one extraterrestrial here. Is that true? Because the frequency is
Well, ah, Yes, it is true. I'm seeing that. Well, there are brothers and sisters here.
But back to the message that there's something coming. We need to have the self worth if we're going to be make it beyond this 3D realm.
Yes.
So and just hearing this is part of knowing we are deserving it. I mean, obviously we are because
The main idea,
mhm,
and that infinity wave is very helpful. The main idea is to not judge oneself so harshly. It is a vice grip on one's heart to judge so harshly. It keeps the heart in this cage where the green tendrils cannot
mm,
get out. You know, so if you if you could just unlock that cage, undo that enclosure, then the heart can breathe again. The heart can feel again and accept oneself and love oneself and have compassion for oneself. And from that place, we feel the worthiness. From that place, we feel accepted and loved. Creator loves us.
mm. Why don't we just expand into that? Like, just take a moment and just expand into that love creation. It's the sun that's coming through. Imagine that infinity wave passing through us from
That
our
is an
center.
excellent idea. Let us wave with everyone who's watching this or who will watch this. Let us send this from our hearts.
Mm, thank
Oh, my dear brothers and sisters on planet Earth, you are exceptional. You are exceptional. And I only wish you could know that. We welcome you. We will be seeing you. We are here in support, all of us.
you. Well, while you're here, can I just ask you what is coming? What's your plans? What is the bigger picture that you feel is bringing here, being brought here?
Well, I can tell you what the goal is.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to welcome you into our federation, into our council. The goal is to uncloak your world and assist in the evolution of her and all her beings. That is our goal. We are ready to have Earth be free and willing participant in all of the activities that we experience. And it pains us to witness the way she has been held back. We, we wish for those days to be gone. It is not a foregone conclusion, however. And this is why it is so important for each person, to the best of their abilities, to become these light beacons, to become these light warriors, to make that the number one job of every soul.
Mm. Could you say something in your language so we get a sense of that vibration? We may not understand it, but we might get the resonance. Mm. That's okay. It's close.
Very high. It
It's
is
okay.
challenging. We have very long necks and more vocal cords.
Mm. But do you feel the vibration moving through your body so the light frequency is activating in you?
Very much so.
It is spotlighting you. Is actually seeing it change your DNA here. The shadows are creating the kind of extra sensory distortions.
Doc has webbed fingers.
Mm. Is this world 3D or beyond?
Very long neck.
Mm.
Doc, do you exist in 3D as well as other dimensions? I do not inhabit 3D.
But they have a neck for some reason.
Remnants of when we did.
Uh, how did you shift from 3D to this next realm?
My great flashing light.
What does that mean?
a great flashing light came upon the planet, came washing over us, and we transformed.
Were you prepared for that?
No,
Mm-mm.
this is why I speak to you today.
Hmm. Because that might come and we are not prepared.
Correct.
Mm. What is the source of that light?
We had several sons.
Hmm.
One son mm, burst and showered us.
Hmm. That changed your body into light.
Correct.
But it kept your consciousness and your feelings, huh?
Correct.
So it was a mass ascension. Was that what happened?
Correct.
Hmm. Nice. And that could happen to us.
Correct.
Uh-huh. Mm.
My friend,
Mm.
this vessel is tired.
I know. She gave her a workout. But maybe you'll come back and visit, give us a little
Yes,
update.
I would
Okay.
be very happy to.
Okay. I know it takes a lot of energy, right, to hold the light in the physical like this. Thank you. Are you okay?
Mm.
I could feel the energy. It was intense, wasn't it? It was coming through.
I am so hot. Oh my God. Oh, ah,
Mm. Ah, are you okay?
so hot.
You were like
Ah,
amplifying your
holy cow.
Mm.
Wow, that was so cool.
Mm.
Ah,
Okay.
sorry.
No, it's okay. Are you gonna be okay later
Yes, yes,
to do your
I
You
hope
want to take a
so.
rest? Okay, I've been talking to Hope Fitzgerald and her people. No, that was great.
Oh,
I felt sitting next to it. It was
oh,
like a frequency.
he was so
Mm,
empathetic with
mm,
us. He was
mm,
so, oh, just caring,
mm,
and um, it's as if there are traces of his body. I didn't see his body at
mm,
first. It was when you asked for his language to come out,
mm.
was when I started, I realized the sound would be too
I
high.
just felt to ask that. I
It was
don't know
so
where that came
interesting.
from, but I just felt like let's hear
It was
that
so
frequency of.
interesting because it's like that's when I became. this neck and these layers of vocal cords, and
Oh, I see. Their neck is so long that
they have various,
oh, I
like
get
a
that.
ladder of vocal
It's like we
cords,
have this little box and they have this whole
multiple.
instrument of,
Yes.
oh, that's interesting. I didn't
So
think about that
the
when,
the the real
ah,
language is at a almost like a supersonic.
yeah,
We would not even hear it. More like
right,
an
right, right,
animal,
right.
can hear these high frequencies.
Yeah, that,
We wouldn't be able to even hear it.
and their meaning is in the frequency, not necessarily
Yes.
in the interpretation of the
Yes.
words. It's the
Yes.
frequency themselves.
Yes.
So I think you did a great job.
Well, I don't know what came out. I'm
No,
scared to
no,
even
no,
look at
no,
this
you
again.
did a great
Oh
job.
God.
And the light was moving on your face and let's see, water on hand, back, and neck brings you back and
Yes, you're
softly.
right.
Thank you from a lot of people here.
Oh
Someone
gosh,
says,
thank you all. You were so much a part of this. He
mm,
was so tapped into you. I want you to know that this was just he was so just in with you, and I thank you so much for being here. Oh my gosh, it
mm,
was just an
it,
honor all the way
it was
around.
an honor for me to like
Well,
have him.
Alan, it's because of you that he
It
came.
was.
Yes,
Well, I guess
Mr.
I'm
E.T. man.
attuned to that frequency, but
No,
you
that
were
was for you
you
too.
you
Big.
never had an
I
ET
never had an E.T.
with you,
Not that I knew of. No.
but you.
I'm usually
Thank you.
channeling Mary Magdalene and Yeshua and
All right.
M and
Well,
Merlin and
thank you. I'm getting lots of thank yous
so.
from people, and thank you all.
Oh
And
wow.
tonight, do you want to do something?
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me just say one last thing. So it's at 8 o'clock is the meditation, and there's
Mm,
one other thing I offer, and that is from 7 to 8 on the third Mondays. I offer it. It costs $40, but it's
mm,
an hour of channeling. Well, hopefully I'll do, but it's an hour of channeling, and usually there aren't so many people that I can't answer
mm-hmm.
individual questions.
Okay.
I try to get an individual question for each person. Um, so if you want to do that, you need to email me because I've already sent out.
Is that tonight?
That's tonight,
From 7 to 8
seven to
is
eight,
the question and answer, and
and
then
then I switch over to the meditation. There are
okay,
two
so
different Zoom links,
mhm,
but so you have to sign up and pay by 6
for the 7 o'clock
for the
thing
7 o'clock thing.
for we dash infinity
So the
infinity.
email address is info at
Okay.
we-infinity.com.
Okay, info at, and then at 8 o'clock we'll come back here,
Yes.
or people can go to the Zoom room if they want to, but they can just look
Well,
at
they
it
need
here.
to get the link.
But they
So
can look at it here.
here's the best.
Infinity dash, infinity dash, what was it?
Come.
We wait.
Info at we infinity.
Oh, we infinity.
Yeah.
We
Hyphen.
dash infinity.
Did you
California
spell that
time.
right?
Infinity.
Is another T.
I got nifty, right?
Yeah.
.com.
Yeah.
Okay, right there on the chat. And then
And this is
here,
Eastern time.
Eastern time. So that is 5 o'clock California time tonight. Thank you all for
Thank you
watching.
so much.
It was
Thank
really,
you, Em.
thank you. Good job. I'm going to be doing a series of live broadcasts this week. Tomorrow, I'm talking to Karen McCarthy, who's a channel, and then on Wednesday. Anyway, just keep watching. Doing Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday here on New Realities.
It's never boring with Alan.
Thank you. I guess that's good. And thanks all everyone on the chat. I've been monitoring that, and I appreciate all your information. If you want to do a super chat sometime, that is welcome. And like a donation, that would be a super chat. But thank you anyway, and stay tuned to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/newreality. Thanks for watching Alan Steinfeld with Hope Fitzgerald.